but I started developing curriculums, particularly for the young people that I would work with. And I started doing trainings, and I started doing these trainings to really help a lot of our educators and people who work with our young people understand the culture and understand the paradigms that our young people are coming from. Because regardless of how great the program is or great the curriculum is, if it's not connecting culturally, you know, if it's not socially relevant, if the educator, the facilitator is not connecting culturally, it's not going to be effective, right? Because another thing, my style of facilitating and teaching and training, I take it serious when we use the concept of professional development. And what that means to me is that we're all professionals. So I respect everyone in here as a professional. So you're definitely feel free to chime in as we go through this, you know. Definitely, we'll learn from each other. So what does it mean when we say at-risk youth? What does it mean? Somebody can chime in. What at risk of what? Because we could hear the term so much that it takes the whole sting out of everything. Like the algebra teacher. Say, oh, this is your class. We all in one class, and I'm the algebra teacher. And I have a wonderful lesson plan. Oh my gosh, this is the greatest lesson plan ever. I done put time in it, and oh man, this is great, right? I'm innovative, but right in that corner, there's a lion sitting there, right? A lion. Now that lion's not doing anything. It's chilling. He's not bothering nobody. You may hear him growl from time to time, but he's chilling. And I'm going on teaching my lesson plan, never addressing the lion, not once. What would y'all be looking at? Would y'all be looking at me? What would y'all be looking at?
The lion.
Y'all like, man, this is Vallatine, I reckon there's a lion in here? Are you right? There is a lion, right? Now, do you think I'm going to have good algebra students? Probably not. I'm going to have good lion tamers, good runners, good fighters. I'm going to have everything but a good algebra student. Now, me literally just saying, class, I recognize there's a lion in the back, but let's figure out how we can move forward. That alone is going to at least give some buy-in to, okay, at least he recognizes there's a lion, right? So maybe I'm not tripping. But if I don't ever acknowledge it, we don't have nothing to talk about. Like, if this guy can't recognize there's a lion, he can't teach me nothing, right? He's insane. So, of course, that's a metaphor for a lot of the stuff that we say our young people are at risk of. If we're not somehow, maybe not individually, but in the institution, somehow adapting our programs to address the lion, we lost.
So when we think of restorative justice, we must build something to restore back to.
But at least it's a start. You're not kicking kids out of school. You know what I mean? That's
is it?
So this is great. No, this is the dialogue that we must have. This is great. I got you real quick. Let me chime in on that. I like the concept of restorative justice, and I like what you're saying about, but what are we restoring? So that's where social relevance and cultural competency comes in. Because if we have somebody, so that means just anybody couldn't facilitate that circle. It has to be somebody who connects and really understands the paradigm of the young people. Then it can be taught, right? Because a part of what we're restoring is not just in that individual, it's in the culture itself. And a part of what we're restoring is the trust. So that's another thing. You know, a lot of times when we do programs, you'll hear somebody say, does it work? What do you mean, does it work? Now, this young man has been cultured in this for 17 years. I've had him for an hour for 4 weeks. 4 hours. Does it work? I mean, it's a story. It's a process. I can't fix him. I can't fix her, right? But it's a start. But I don't want you to lose your thought. You have to understand what we're dealing with, right? So the last point that I'll make is that, because I like to be repetitive with some of the stuff, the only true evidence-based approach to effectively helping our students begins first with developing a safe relationship with them. And on that note, like I say, this is just us having a dialogue. That pretty much concludes the presentation. I would love to hear from anybody if you have any questions, any comments, or anything. Because like I say, we are the professionals.